started cash flowing around $600. And what's crazy is that, I mean, it's not much, but I think that gave me the confidence to go, okay, we did this, let's do it again. And we just kept repeating. So we went from a 4-unit and bought another single family, bought a 3-unit, a 4-unit, and then we got bored, bought a 36-unit, and then a 24-unit, and then an 8-unit, and then I mean, it's kind of on accident. I knew I needed help, for sure. You can only go so far with, courses and YouTube videos, podcasts. You can get and amass a large amount of head knowledge, but once it hits your heart, it's like, it just, you can see it, right? You can see all the pieces and you can see the structure and the blueprint behind everything. But honestly, I don't know. It was kind of an accident. Like, I'm not the one to say I figured it out or I know everything. And this is a really great tip for all your listeners out there is if you want to learn something or you want to master something or get good at something, find someone who's already really good at it and pay them a boatload of money to teach you how to do it. That's really the shortcut. And even today, when I try to figure something out, I'm like, okay, I don't know how to do this. I know what I want, but I don't know how to get there. I'm not asking for how, I'm asking for who. Who do I know and who do I need to know to get this for me to get this problem out of the way. So I don't know if I can pinpoint to like a one specific moment or one specific thought that led me to wanting to get help, but I know I just needed help.
Yeah. So you're kind of in the right place, the right time. You're like, listen, I've been banging my head against the wall for a while. Right. So an opportunity came around. You're like, all right, how do we utilize this to get me where I need to go? And I actually relate to that a lot because I actually went to work for somebody that had 1,000 apartments, and I actually worked for them as the job, and I only worked there for 6 months, and I figured it out probably in the first 3, and then. Yeah. And we were like, oh, that's how you do it. And so once I was my business partner at the time, my ex-business partner, and I both worked for this guy. And we're like, we think we can do this better. We have all the resources there. We just need to know how to put it together. So, I say out there, people that are trying to get their foot in the door, aside from networking and doing all those things, if you're just like, listen, I want to just get into this, I don't think there's a better way to learn than you can actually have someone pay you to learn from them and understand the business. That's not a bad gig, or pay them like Sam said, to kind of take you under their wing and get somewhere.
Yeah. In my case, I worked for free, and sure. I was happy to do it. So
100%. Yeah. And it paid off big time. So, okay. So you get in with this guy, then you start. Now, what does it look like for you? So you start to get into the business, you start to do seller financing deals. Was it straight into multifamily? Did you dabble with single family? What did the beginning look like for you?
Yeah. So we, early on, our first deal was 4 single family portfolios. So through my social media knack, if you will, found a seller. Actually, the seller reached out to me. So what I did, I remember I went out on Facebook, and in these local garage sale groups, all I posted was, hey, I'm a local real estate investor in the area. I'm looking for contractors. If you are handy, I'm looking for you, right? And at the time, I didn't have any deals at all. But what I was trying to do is I was trying to assemble a team, right? I was trying to assemble my contractors, property managers, accountants, attorneys, the whole 9 yards. And I just basically put myself out there, and the seller found me on the garage sale group and DM'd me, direct messaged me and said, hey, I see that you're a real estate investor in the area. I have 16 properties I want to sell. Here are the list of properties. If you have an interest, please let me know, right? So got the list, looked through the property, did some analysis on it, and I'm like, hey, it might be some really good potential here. And so we drove down to the area, met with the sellers, saw some of the properties. And these properties were like 30, 40 grand each. In Illinois, right? Like you go down to the boondocks and you'll find.
Was it like South Side, West Side stuff?
Yeah. So we went out.
What's crazy is this is so similar to, so guys, just for you, those of you that are listening, we were just chatting a little bit before the show, and I found out that his office is in my hometown where I grew up, like 5 minutes away from where I grew up. But I don't live in Illinois anymore. I live in Arizona. So it's really weird. But my start was like this. The same finding portfolios of these things. So they're like 30, 40K for these single families, and they're in the bad areas.
Oh yeah. But that's how you start. You get all the crazy stories, get it out of the way. Right. I remember walking through one of these properties and I thought it was terrible because there was garbage everywhere. The smell was terrible. Dirt everywhere on the wall. And I think, I don't know for sure, but there was an evidence of a newborn, sleeping on a mattress mattress that like had roaches and like bed bugs everywhere. And I had to call DCFS because I'm like, this is not like, like no kid should be living this. And so I remember going through that and like paid ridiculous amount of money, like $5,000 to clean everything. It was terrible. It was bad. But no, that's how we got started. And we ended up only buying 4 because we just kind of want to kind of test the area out. Did it on owner financing, 10% down, which even the 10% down we raised the money from a family friend. And that's the start. And then started cash flowing around $600. And what's crazy is that, I mean, it's not much, but I think that gave me the confidence to go, okay, we did this, let's do it again. And we just kept repeating. So we went from a 4-unit and bought another single family, bought a 3-unit, a 4-unit, and then we got bored, bought a 36-unit, and then a 24-unit, and then an 8-unit. And then, yeah, I mean,
was this all Southwest side Chicago?
No. So the first deal we've done was actually the first 8 units we've done was Southwest and South side of Chicago. And I'm talking about like the south suburb, not within Cook County. Sure. For those know where that is. And then we started doing like Aurora, and then like West. And so, yeah, I mean, it's crazy how that works out, but that's the story. And so 2017 was the year where we had a breakout year. We went from having no properties to having over 75 rental doors in just 1 year, just like strictly using seller financing and raising capital. That's all we did.
That's cool.
And just kept doing the same thing over and over. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and Sam's in a market, by the way, Chicago is a tough market for apartment complexes because a lot of them, like Dallas or Houston or some of these a lot of other markets, Atlanta, there are apartment complexes that exist all the way, from, 1 to a duplex all the way up to infinity. And you don't have that kind of inventory in Chicago. It's different. Mm-hmm. It's like 2-3 flats, portfolios. And so you got kind of started where I got started. And eventually we were just like, there's just not the inventory in the suburbs out here that we thought. We have to go elsewhere. But there is, in that part of the country, there's people more open to seller financing type deals. And so we found the same thing. I literally I don't think I could have gotten started any closer to the way Sam just describing. We're
like investor brothers here. Like,
yeah, that's right. You're going to have to add me into the Quad brothers soon.
Yeah. That's hilarious. But yeah, that's where we got started. And now, I mean, we're back. We're kind of back in the game. We sold a lot of our properties just because the market got so hot. I mean, it's unbelievable. I was telling Garrett before the show, like, we know somebody who bought properties $300,000 a unit. I'm like, ugh. Like, I hope the cap rate works on that. But like, my goodness, man, like it's crazy hot right now. So, but at the same time, you get this really weird motivation from baby boomer landlords that just went through the whole pandemic, went through the eviction moratorium, and they're like they're just throwing their hands up saying, I don't want to do this anymore. So we live in a really weird time where there's motivation, but the housing market seems to be really, really hot. Like it's really weird. I've never seen this before. So,
well, I don't think anyone has. I mean, it's the question that everyone's asking themselves is, where does this end? And I think that just from my perspective, there's still opportunities out there. There's plenty, because, even as interest rates rise up, it's still, there's the inflation has gone up so high that your rents are insane. And homes are still very difficult to buy. So you have people that can't afford homes, they have to rent. And if you deliver a product to them in your rehabs that are, that they really like as an alternative to a home, it's a much easier, the barrier to entry isn't as high. So they can get into your rentals. And so you're seeing, high levels of occupancy, except for the, pandemic related delinquency. Right. And, you're seeing a situation where prices are rising, but I still will be a little bit of a cool off, I think, with these interest rates rising up. That's definitely going to impact something, but the Fed can only go so quick on that. And so we'll see a little bit of cooling off, but there's still a ton of opportunity out there in the market. So I'm curious, Sam, you got into that area and you got 75 rental doors that year. Did you start to expand other markets, or did you just find alternative ways to purchase properties in that market? What was kind of your next step?
Yeah. So we dabbled with short-term rentals a little bit, and then the pandemic happened and we're like, oh crap, right? Like, everything just shut down, right? Like travel and everything. So we pretty much sold the short-term rental property, and that was the end of the story. We've done flips along the way, fix and flips, which was a lot of fun. I mean, it's sexy, right? Like, you see it, you see it on HGTV or TLC or whatever. And it's nice to do, but when I get to the core of it, I just love the consistent cash flow that comes in. then buy and hold I think is the way to go. I know people can argue with me all day long, like fix and flip's better. Like I like my cash flow that comes in every month. So yeah, I mean, ever since now, so we took a little bit of hiatus, sold some of the properties, and now we're just revamping our syndication company, and then we're gonna be buying more. So we're actually looking at a 108 unit apartment building. Not gonna tell you where, but we're looking at in the vicinity of our area, and so yeah, so we're back in the game.